Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Scorpio. So Scorpio, I've done your reading as usual with my own deck, so the cards you'll see are from this deck. Scorpio, your reading today feels very work-related or business-driven or some sort of launch of a project, of an idea, of a contract, of a business deal that you're involved that seems to be either really big or really widespread. It feels like it's something that, whatever it is, it's like something that is worldwide, if you know what I mean. And I know this could sound a lot, but it seems like something that you have been preparing and adjusting and organizing, and now you're ready to move to the next phase, which feels from the cards here that is not only the launch itself, the launch of the idea, or the launch of like communicating to the world your project, or whatever you're trying to sell, but knowing that whatever it is, it's just the beginning of this spreading throughout the world, or coming into the world, being born in a sense. But as I said, it's like this initial communication of it, so the birth of it through voicing, through expanding how you reach with your ideas, how it reaches out towards the world, and knowing that still, because it's just this initial phase, but one that is very vocal, that there's still a lot of work to be done, and a lot of openness and open mind to receive the lessons that are going to come once this project or this endeavor is launched into the world. So we begin with the Four of Swords, and yes, I know if you know a little bit of tarot, this traditionally has to do with resting and being a little bit cozy in your nest, protected, just trying to recharge your batteries. But I have to say, this Four of Swords for you, Scorpio, today is coming through with a very different message, one that I haven't seen ever, I think. So what I saw was like, it's like a setup of like a, how do you call it, like an industrial line of a product of something that you're trying to launch, and you're preparing. It's almost like this this line of work that you have set up for yourself that is very productive, because the essence of this preparing to launch. Because so what I heard, I'm trying to describe in full sentence or in a coherent way what I heard with 3 words. Maybe it will make more sense for you like this, but what I heard was ready, set, go. Just like that. And so I'm trying to translate that into a more sensible kind of way for you to understand, Scorpio. But it feels like you are setting things up, ready to launch them. So it's almost like this is the first line, this is the second line, and there are others, especially because right underneath it there's this Nine of Swords, which is talking to me about things really speeding up. It's like you are lining things up for this process to go faster once you have actually, because it's like this. So we have the Four of Swords, the Magician, and the Nine of Swords. So after you give your final magical touches, so you're preparing carefully And you know, a word that came through really powerfully, because we have a lot of swords cards, it's is be mindful. Be mindful not only of your ideas, but how to make them manifest, how to make them happen, how to really put this final magical touch for this to really pick up the pace with the Nine of Swords. So it's like what I heard here with this ready, set, go, what I saw. So I saw two things. I saw a runner on how do you call the running field? I think you know what I mean. But it's like you are ready to launch. You are just waiting for the green light in a sense, or for this go time, but being very mindful, being very careful, and it's like you have learned how to execute something with perfection, with this magical ability to pay attention to details. Pay attention to details with, because it's interesting, the difference between this 4 and the 9 is the speed at which things move. And so in the beginning, or right now, I feel like you can really pay attention to the details and adjust whatever is needed with your magical touch, because this lineup or this setup or this behind the scenes, perhaps individual approach to it feels very not controllable, but manageable. That's the best word, manageable, because there is no anxiety here. On the contrary, it feels very calm, very it's like everything that you need, it's just right at your fingertips. It's like you have the ability to manipulate energies, to manipulate your thoughts, and not manipulate in a negative way. It's not this connotation that I'm seeing here. It's like you have learned how to use these energies, being very mindful. Once again, this word is really important for you. It's interesting because in the last line, there is this word of caution, just to know that even though, yes, in this idea field, in this mental kind of adjustment of the details, things are moving really, really, really quick, especially because we have the World card following. So yes, there is a lot of momentum. What I'm seeing here, that it goes from this 4 of Swords, which is very, it's like your business is held in a garage or in your room, and it's like this controlled environment in a sense. But once you give this final magical touch and you receive this go sign, right? This ready, set, go. And you know that things are about to speed up because of this 9 of Swords, which it's the distinction of this runner running alone and this plane that it's just ready to take off. You see, it's the distinction, and take off into the world. So it's beautiful actually, Scorpio, because what I'm sensing here is like, when you are doing things on your own in this controlled environment, in this with this small setup of products or ideas or a business deal that you're just putting the final adjustments to it, it's like you're setting yourself this magical manifestation that very quickly it will take off. You see? And this is gorgeous because It's only when you put this final touch, this magical touch, that it is ready to take off and, you know, just be in the world, go into the world. And, you know, with this globe here, with the world card, I'm seeing that this plane, it's interesting because what I'm seeing here is actual planes, you know, just crossing, flying across the world and reaching out many different locations. So whatever it is that you're creating is that's the reason why I said it is widespread. It is supposed to take this world stage, in a sense, to go places, to reach, you know, distant lands. It's what I'm hearing. Reach distant lands. So it's picking up. It's like as soon as your mindful ability to manipulate these energies, in a sense of adjusting what is needed in this lineup, things are going to take off. And not only take off, it's like first there is this mental takeoff. So the idea reaches these distant lands first, right? Or the communication of it, or the project launch, the news of this launch is reaching, you know, farther than you think, I feel, and faster than you think. It's going further down the line, you know, in a quick pace. And I feel like even though with your ability to create magic, to make magic, it's not that you knew that things would happen, but in a sense you did. You had this inkling in you that you knew that things would happen, because you had this controlled environment, so you could see this scaled down version, you know, really near you, and you in control of it. But once it takes this world stage, it is beyond your control. And this is where this caution, this word of caution comes through, because after the world we have the Eight of Pentacles and also the Page of Swords, but we'll get there. So what this Eight of Pentacles is talking about is that after this launch, after this takeoff, after the idea reaches, you know, distant lands, and, you know, ideally things are starting to move, things are starting to pick up the pace, there is a lot of practical work to be done. There is a lot of so because here with these two cards being very you know, in this mental space, in this mindful place, so it's like the words you're going to use to, you know, launch, or how you're going to present it in a way that is more subtle. So it's not, the takeoff happens first in this verbal kind of way, and when it reaches the places that it's supposed to reach, which I feel it's going to surprise you, because it is going to go places that you didn't anticipate, even though it's like you were preparing for this takeoff in a smaller scale. But I feel like you're not anticipating the larger scale that it is really going to achieve, because of this plane taking off here. And as I said, it feels like it's a lineup. It feels like it's like one after the other and the other and the other. So it's never ending, because you have cracked, in a sense, this power of manifestation. So you know the secret, because you have paid attention to the details. And by doing so, you can, by manipulating, in a sense, by adjusting things in a smaller scale, you can grow that you can expand that to a really larger scale, you see. But yes, in the practical, physical, perhaps financial part of it, it is requiring a lot of work and dedication and time and effort because of the Eight of Pentacles. Because I feel like, you know, we have these two cards following. So this last line here with the Page of Swords and the Two of Swords, this is representing you, Scorpio, today. Well, today, as soon as this project is launched, because once it takes on this world stage and it is really widespread, even to places that perhaps you haven't anticipated, but that you are ready to take on this endeavor for, because you have cracked doing it in a small scale, and so now it's the same thing but with more practical work involved, you see. And because there is this practical side of it, perhaps, you know, this financial part of it that requires a lot of work to do, a lot of work to do, a lot of, I want to say, because, you know, there is a lot of mindful touch and retouching of the energies with the swords, especially because of these two. It's like this mindful approach to the resources, to the contract, to the product itself, to the production itself, through making things come into this manifested world. It's interesting. It's here, like these big energies. It's like you're in control of your own manifestation, and this could really take off in a really, really, really powerful and big way. And it's interesting because it is going to require a lot of work, and you know it. You know it, Scorpio, because even though, yes, you are coming with this magician, with this master manifestor quality of the magician, and because of that, you are really paying attention. You are really mindful of your thoughts, of your process, of your, you know, internal and external work. And, you know, with this Eight of Pentacles, you know, if once you were doing it on your own, I feel like here is where, well, when it takes the world stage and it becomes something real, there are other people's involved. It feels like teamwork. So, you know, be mindful of the others, of, you know, the work of the others too, because this Page of Swords with this Two of Swords, these two cards are talking about a lot of room to learn. So even though you have adjusted things, you know, the idea of it to perfection, you have put your own personal, unique, magical final touch for it to launch. Now that it is out there, it is out in the world, and it is becoming something real, tangible, and perhaps very lucrative, very you know, making money out of it, profitable, that's the word, profitable. But, you know, what I'm seeing also here with the Eight of Pentacles is that first the work, then the profit. Because there is a lot to learn, because you and these others, the team, are still embodying this page energy, which is, you know, not an amateur, I don't want to say an amateur, but, you know, very fresh perhaps in this business, very new in this business, or not specifically in this business, but the scale at which now you're working, you see, because now it is really widespread. So now there is more work to be done, because before you had everything under your control. So now that is involving more people, more practical issues to deal with, you are still this page embodying also the mindful, the caution steps forward with the Two of Swords. So what I'm seeing here is like each step that you take, even if it's in your mind, it's like now there are others to consult them with, or to just, you know, exchange these thoughts. So every step now is, well, first of all, there is a lot to be gained in terms of knowledge, but there is also a lot of well, because usually I see, well, not usually, but lately I've been seeing this Eight of Pentacles also as like an obstacle course. So there could be potentially, you know, not obstacles, but just practical things that have to be dealt with in order for you to really, well, because, you know, it feels like in this mental realm, in this vocalization or communication of this launch, it's like it is already reaching places, but for it to really take roots, or for it to really become something tangible and profitable for you, Scorpio, I feel like, you know, the best approach now is to be humble enough to know that there is a lot to be learned in this process, and to understand that having this open mind of this Page of Swords, not only you, I want to say, but all of the involved in this teamwork, it's like you can build something stronger, something richer even, if you are aware and careful enough of each step that you take next after this launch, right? So I'm going to pull more cards for you, Scorpio, and also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes. So if you want to join me there, I'll be happy to see you. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.